it will help to motivate the employees for them to, quote unquote, stay with the organization, because they know that if they do well, they will climb the corporate ladder. So you need to weigh in between these two decisions of the organization, because certainly the examiner may ask you some questions about this, and you've got to be on the lookout for to be able to answer that question that the examiner possibly can ask you in relation to that. Then there was a critical issue paragraphed as sustainability. That is very critical, because every company in the world has an impact on the environment of businesses. So as you see, tourism also, one of the things we saw is that the entity is environmentally responsible. Let me see if I have it there. Yes, environmentally and ethically responsible. And so even though they are interested in increasing the sales of the company, the profitability of the company, they want to be at the forefront of the growth of the company, they want to be at the forefront of the development of the tourism industry in Ghana, they are also conscious of the impacts that the operations may have on the environment. So the examiner could put you on the spot there to ask you what you think the company must do, and so should be on the lookout for that. And I have that put out here in relation to that. Then another paragraph that is also critical to our case is personal security and customer protection. Okay, personal security and customer protection. It's very critical there, because that's more or less like a threat. A lot of the things they mentioned there are like threats, and that could affect the company a lot, that affects the industry a lot. And so we need to find out how the entity can turn those threats into opportunities, and also how that can ultimately help the company to grow its profits, to grow its revenue as an organization. So that is a paragraph that you need to delve a bit deeper and sort of help you to understand what government is doing. We have a couple of things to be spoken about here, though, during our full discussion on campus, and that is critical to the success of not only Ghanalux but also the industry at large. So that's the idea about that. Then I think the final paragraph that is also critical about the case is financial issues. Okay, that's very critical, because from the financial issues we kind of understand the capital structure of the company, the funding of the company, how the company handles working capital, how the company is dealing with various projects that they want to undertake. So that paragraph is going to be critical, because as I always say, the examiner may request you to do some analysis or make some recommendation for the company, and you should be able to be in the position to do that comfortably for the company, taking into consideration their finances, so that based on the financial issues facing the company, whatever suggestion that you are providing, whatever recommendations that you are making or you are providing for the company, you must take into consideration how suitable that is going to be for the company, how acceptable it's going to be for the company, and how do we call it, feasible it's going to be for the company, taking into consideration qualitative factors as well as the quantitative factors. And so you got to be on the lookout for critically also for that kind of information that the examiner could throw at you, or that examiner could ask you, because this is critical as well for you. So that is what you've got to understand. Then certainly you are provided with financial statements of the company. And the financial statements provided there means that you've got to be calculating a couple of ratios, and you've got to be interpreting the ratios. So it's not just about being able to slush in some numbers for ROSI, for NPM, for GPM, for whatever, asset turnover, liquidity, trade payables, trade receivables. It's not just enough about calculating these ratios, but you've got to be on the lookout for to really interpret and say what those ratios are, and going forward, how the ratios or these ratios are going to help you in order to understand what is going on, in order to understand what is contained in the question. So basically, these are what you've got to understand about the case. I believe that there are a couple of areas that the examiner is going to be asking you from. If you thoroughly do your research, you thoroughly do your work very well, there are a couple of modules that the examiner could ask you some questions on. Between 5 or 6 modules, the examiner could ask you some questions on in relation to that. Now, as I'm talking, a module just jumped into my head, you know, as I'm talking right now. So let me just kick it in there. Alright, so a module just jumped out based on the kind of strategies that the company can go through. Okay, so you've got to understand thoroughly the kind of modules that are in place, and if the examiner asks you for a recommendation, the kind of modules that you have to look out for. And remember that when we are dealing with organizations, there are a couple of things that are critical that you've got to look out for. And again, as I'm sharing this with you, so a couple of things are adding up. So you need to consider the issue about culture. It's very important for you to understand the kind of culture that is present in Ghanalux. It's very important. Then you need to also understand the issue about governance, how the organization is directed and controlled. It's very critical for the company. That tells you about the board structure of the company, since it looks like only 2 people run the company. Probably that is why the company is not structured, and they are looking at how they can take the company to the next level. So if you are a strategist, you are a consultant that has been approached by this company, and they say you should advise them on what they must do in order to currently the revenue they are making. If you look at their revenue, let's see. The revenue they are making net of tourism development fund tax, currently 2018 about 15,840. 2017 they made about 11,720. So that's not bad. Sort of about, that could be around 33% sort of increase also, and that's not bad. And their expenses are also increasing like that. So when you are suggesting any strategy for the company, you've got to be on the lookout for and find out what you're going to be talking about, and what you're going to say, because it's critical. All right, this is damn critical for you to be able to work at it, for you to be able to look at it. So, and these are a couple of thoughts, a couple of ideas that I want to give you about the case. Now, comment below with your questions. Maybe you have some questions about the case that you want me to answer for you, you want me to help you out with. In case you are watching this, probably just for studies purposes, not really writing this case, because this case is November 2019, and because this video will be available on YouTube till. If you need a question, we're going to put a link in the description box, and you can download the question, look at it thoroughly, so that it can help you to have an idea of what the ICA strategic case study examination is. So that's what I have to share with you, and this is what I want you to do. Make sure you know it, because look at how I penned out every sentence. Look at the things we wrote here. Look at how I penned out everything. Everything is penned out. Every line, every paragraph, it's key. Look at how I wrote a couple of things down here. It's very critical for you. So make sure you kind of work hard and make sure you prepare well. So comment below with your questions. Remember to subscribe to the channel and promote the channel. Share the channel as well with other students like that, so that we can together help as much as students as possible. So I'll catch you in another series as we continue. Now comment below if you want me to cover the whole case live on YouTube. I will consider it. My team will arrange that, and boom, we will make it happen. So comment below and let me know your thought about the case, and let's see how you're preparing for the examination. So I'll see you in another session as we talk more.